great speaker, very nice, good friend of mine. And, you know, myself and my wife, I feel that what we've done is just the beginning of what many people have done or are doing across the UK. So if with what I share today is helpful to you, then that's great. And I hope that everybody's kept safe during these times, pandemic and everything happened. What a crazy year. What a crazy year, Maurizio. 12 months. And, you know, we're seeing each other like this. It's like we're in mini jails. There's the jail. Like, I can't get out of it. But it's really great to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I feel really honored to be here. And it's just lovely to be able to spend my time with you guys.
Thank you, Mark. I massively appreciate it. And from the bottom of my heart, I'm just going to say it out loud. And I'm going to say I love you, man. And
thank you so much.
Time that I spent with Kieran and you is times that I cherish and that I have here in my heart. And that you guys are just absolutely fantastic. You guys are some of the most beautiful people I've had the privilege to know in my life. And in everything, you guys are good at everything you do. You guys are, you know, just fantastic, and I love you loads. And Mark, I'm just gonna start with my first question. That we start into the matter. Now, nowadays, you guys are some of the most recognized leaders in our industry in the UK and Europe and in many places around the world, because I know that you've built a business which expands to many places around the world. And you know, not only you guys are leaders, but you guys are leaders and mentors of many other leaders. And my question to you, Mark, is that have you always been a leader yourself, or is that a skill that you have developed over the years?
That's a good question. Yeah, I guess, you know, I guess you got to believe in yourself, I guess, a little bit from the start. And maybe it from like small beginnings. I lived in a household. I don't know, anybody here had an older brother or sister? Anybody have an older brother or sister? See, I had an older brother who made it his duty to let me know that I'm the little one. So he had power over me, right? So my older brother and sisters were tough competitors, tough people. So really, in my household, when my parents put food on the table, if I didn't eat quick, I didn't eat because my brother would take my food. So I guess I had to lead myself to eat. I had to lead myself with my voices in our household. So everyone in my household was quite a strong character. You know, they don't just they don't just say things that are politically correct. They'll say what it is, and you got to have a strong point of view. Otherwise, you didn't survive. So I guess when I was little, I didn't see myself so much as a leader, but I saw myself as someone that had to stand up for myself and had to know what I wanted in life. And that's, I guess that's where that bit started. But inside, maybe there was a raw ability to be able to make decisions, but there was so much that I learned. Even though inside I feel like I knew what I wanted to do, there's so much I learned about becoming a leader, really. I thought I knew when I was at university, I thought I was a leader, but I wasn't really a proper leader. And there was so much still to go. I believe it's a lifelong journey, really, to be honest. Mauricio, and I learned so much during this Amway business. Before this Amway business, myself and my wife, we had a number of different companies. We ran an events business, a fashion business. We ran a photography business, a dance company. My wife ran her own clothing company where she imported, exported clothes and stuff like that. And in some ways, we knew how to lead ourselves, but that's not like a leader. We didn't know how to lead other people. So that this Amway business really taught us a lot. We made a lot of mistakes, and I'm sure we will continue to make mistakes. But thankfully, we had our business coaches to teach us different ways of doing things. So one big thing that they taught us was servant leadership and reading books like The 360-Degree Leader by John Maxwell, reading books where you understand a lot more about how actually a leader is not someone that just makes decisions or tells other people what to do. A leader is someone that serves a large number of people. And we learn it in a lot of different ways. At one point, I thought a leader was letting everybody else make decisions and, encouraging them. And then that produced chaos. The other way was thinking that leader is, let's just tell everybody what to do and they follow. And that produced chaos as well. So you have to have a good balance. And so our business coaches kind of, I guess, showed us that a leader teaches through their actions as opposed to necessarily telling people what to do. If your actions don't match up with what you say, then people quickly find out. And so this business is really great for that, because it really allows you to understand, first, you need to lead yourself. And second, you need to lead other people, but you do that through your example, and you do that through your work ethic. You do that through always being consistent, always being on time, always being someone that they can depend upon, and then they know that you can trust you. And I don't think I always was like that, Maurizio, to be honest. I think that I've gone through many changes, a big journey, but I think I always wanted to be. I was always in the sports teams at school, so I was in all the sports clubs and represented my school, and I represented my borough for athletics and cricket and stuff like that, and for tennis. But I was only still a leader of myself, I think. I wasn't fully a leader of other people. So it's a big question. I think so. Everybody here, I really believe everybody here has the ability to do it. You know, what differentiates us from just like the fox or the dog or the cat or the animal just down the street, what differentiates us is the ability for us to make decisions, for the ability for us to really have thoughts and to really convey those thoughts, really decide what we want to do, what we want to do with our lives. So I believe everybody has the ingredients of what it takes to become a leader. And then to become one, you have to have a great example, someone that you can follow, someone that you look up to, someone that you think, I want to be that person. Even if you don't specifically have someone one-to-one, although one-to-one really, really makes a difference, you may have like Maurizio. Let's say, for example, like Maurizio, okay? I saw Maurizio growing up in the business in a way. And I tell you, from the first day I saw him, I thought, wow, I can learn from this guy. This guy can teach me about what passion is. When he spoke with passion. If you guys know Maurizio, have you ever seen him speak without passion? It doesn't happen. It really doesn't happen. He spoke with passion and vision. And I've learned from many leaders like that about passion and vision. I learned from, Paul and Hanako about how to be humble. These guys have got phenomenal business across the world. And Christian and these guys have got great business. But when they were there with me, they were just so humble, actually playing down the fact they've got phenomenal businesses ready to learn from other people. So these people have taught me a lot. I learned from Jason work ethic. Jason has got some phenomenal work ethic, and there's no emotional worry about it. He doesn't care. He just gets on with it. He doesn't get upset about it. He just gets on with the work. Whatever he has to get done, he gets done. So what I was fortunate, I think I was very lucky, Maurizio, that I got to hang around with all of you guys. That was my luck. And I got to hang around with my business coaches over in America. And so have someone that you can follow, I think, was the greatest thing to help you develop into that. And for me, it was, I was fortunate that I had my parents when I was younger to have a very, very strong kind of like spiritual foundation. They always let me know what was right and wrong by what they did themselves. They always said that what your words are very, very important. So what you say is just extremely important. You don't want to say something that doesn't match up with what you do. And whatever you do in life, you should be doing more for others than you take from them. You should always be doing more for others. What you do in this life is about what you can give to other people. So I guess I got that from my parents from a young age, but they didn't have any financial acumen. So I got that from my business coaches and from you guys. So thank you, Maurizio, and the people around me.
Actually, thank you, Mark. Mark, you touched a little bit on the books, on the education and education on how important it's been for you in your journey. I know that's, for yourself, even before you started your business and for your culture and your family, education has been key. And I want you to, talk to us a little bit about who was Mark Khutan, all the degrees and everything that you've done, and how key business and entrepreneurial education has been for you. Because let me tell you, when I joined the business, I wasn't a leader. I didn't have, any leadership skills, but I became, let's call it, sort of obsessed with education. And even though many people would come up with excuses on why it cannot be done, those reasons why it cannot be done. For me, it was the reasons why it could be done, because I didn't have money. Therefore, I had to learn. Because I didn't have the time, therefore, I had to learn. You know, and that was for me. And I became obsessed with audios, books, and getting all that sort of information into my head. And, you know, just tell us a little bit about how key has education been. And Mark, on your first year, how many audios, audio podcasts and books do you think you got into your head, you know, to get you into this, you know, get you into the leader, the business leader that you've become?
All right, great question. Actually, it's a really, really good question. I'm gonna answer this by starting off with a joke. Okay, it's one I heard some time ago. You probably all heard this, and it goes around thinking about what we do every day and whether it's really important or not. So imagine there's a husband and wife. Think back in the 70s, 80s, you know, type of thing, where the wife was traditionally at home and the man was going out to work. And there was a party and there's a get together, and the men were in a room and the ladies were in a different room, and the ladies were chatting, and there was a new wife, and she said, "Oh, can you give me some tips of what you take care of? But, you know, how do you split the roles of a husband and wife? And what do you do?" And she said, "Oh, it's, you know, my husband does all the important stuff." And she said, and the lady said, "Oh no, but what do you do?" Then she goes, "Well, I take care of the kids and I do the packed lunches, and you know, I take them to school, and then I pay the mortgage, and I pay the car bill, and I pay for holidays, and I sort out the insurance, and I sort out the phone bill and the mortgage, the electricity, the gas. And, you know, if there's any problems with kind of like paying our taxes, if there's any kind of other legal issues, I do all of that. And, you know, inheritance, all of this stuff." And then the lady sitting there think, but then what does the husband do?" She says, "Oh, he does all the important stuff." And she said, "What do you mean?" "Oh, he talks, well, he sits there with his other friends at the men, and they talk about, you know, who's going to be the next president, you know, the economy of the world. They talk about, you know, how the state of the one government's going to affect the other, all those really important things that affect us day to day." And these are the things that I thought was hilarious, because a lot of things I saw in my life, actually, before I came into the business, before when I thought I was a leader, before when I thought I was actually someone that was really doing stuff productive, I was filling my life and the things in my every day-to-day life with things that weren't really important, that didn't really affect my day-to-day. See, the husband was talking about all these big things, but he's not going to affect who the next president is really. He's not going to affect all of those different things. The lady was taking care of what was really important. And when I came into the business, I read a lot of books, and there's nothing wrong with reading books, but I read a lot of books that are on fiction and this, that, and the other. I maybe spent a lot of time on sport, and I spent a lot of time watching movies that weren't really going to get me to where I wanted to. I had goals that I wanted to achieve, but I didn't back up those goals with the work ethic. So I didn't really want to achieve those things. The biggest thing that changed, Maurizio, was what I was putting into my head, what was going into my head, and the things that I was reading and listening that my business coach was talking about. You see, what he said to me was, he said, "Mark, you can only have a few focuses in life." He said, "You can be good at anything, but you cannot be good at everything all at the same time." You can be good at anything, but not everything at the same time. So choose 3 or 4 focuses, whatever that is. Maybe it's your family, maybe it's your faith, maybe it's your work, and maybe it's your health. He said, but you've got to choose a few. You can't have 10 different ones, because you'll be split in too many different directions. And he said, now let's imagine you've chosen 4 different things. Are your actions backing those up? He said, "I want you to read this book." I said, "Okay." And I read a book, Magic of Thinking Big. I was like, wow, I love that book. The Magic of Thinking Big is just phenomenal. Anybody that's read it, you read it once, great. How many years has it been since you read it? Read it again. You read it again, and you will find it's a different book. You will find you're in a different place. But I read that book, and it really opened my eyes to the fact that I wasn't being my best. I wasn't doing the best things I could do. In this first year, I guess, in the first year of business, my first 6 months or 12 months of the business, actually, I wasn't that great, Richard. To be honest, I was more of a customer. I came to some meetings, And I was like, oh yeah, I like these products. They're great. Everybody's really happy. You can do it. That's brilliant. And I'll be very honest, I wasn't the greatest business leader then. But it was only when I went to a big major function, actually, I went to a major function and I saw some people go across stage and they had what they had in life. I thought I wanted to have those things. They had free time to be able to spend with their kids and they were able to go on lots of different holidays. They were able to have security. And I thought I was doing well, but I was getting paid very well in the city, but loads of money was coming in, but loads of money coming out. So I was still in debt and I was still, although I was getting paid quite a bit of money, what I thought was the perfect life, working a finance job in the city. I did a maths degree and I did 2 postgraduate diplomas, kind of like masters in mathematics and finance. You know, my parents always said to me, you should get yourself educated. And I was good at maths, so I did maths. I mean, Asians, you know, we do maths. So I went and did my maths. I did my degrees. And then when I was working in the city, I did some further qualifications and degrees. And I was doing that and I thought I had it made in the city working in a top job making good money. But I was still working in a job. So I didn't understand that properly. And I remember then seeing one of these business owners that made so much more money than me. And I thought, he's not as qualified as me. Why did I spend all my time doing the degrees? Now, I value it. I absolutely, don't get me wrong, I really value education. I think it's great. Go and get a degree. If you want to get a good degree, that's good. But don't do it just because you feel that's the only way to succeed. That was my mistake. I thought that was the only way to succeed. It isn't. You should do it if you love doing what you're going to do. If you're going to educate yourself and you really enjoy that subject, do it. Go for it. And actually start working in some sort of job to understand the pains and labors of it. But when I was working at a job, I realized because I didn't own the company, I was not building an asset. And an asset for me is defined as something that pays you money, not something that takes money away. And if I stopped working that job, would I get paid any money? If I was a lawyer and I stopped becoming a lawyer for that day, for that month, would I get paid any money? No. It doesn't matter if you're a doctor, a lawyer, any of these jobs, they're great jobs and they're very, very valuable jobs. And I, especially over this last 12 months, really value the NHS and the doctors and everybody around us that have produced and done what they can to actually help society move on. I value them. They're great jobs, but they were not an asset. So when I met this business coach at a function and I saw his lifestyle and I realized that I actually was not setting myself up in the right way, that's when I decided to kind of listen to what they said, Mauricio. They'd said it a number of times that you should read and you should listen. So in that year after I decided to do it, I think I listened to about 2 to 3 audios a week and read 1 to 2 books a month. So it was something in the region of about 100 to 150 audios. And I read about 15, I think it was about 16 to 20 books in that first year. I actually read a couple of books twice. I'm not counting those, but I read a couple of books twice because I really loved them. And when I read it the second time, I started doing something different, which I don't know if lots of people do, but I started writing in my books. They sound silly, and people used to see me in the train. People would see me in the train, holding a book and writing the book and think I was crazy. But this is my thoughts on it. And it was actually from one of my business coaches. They were unfortunately fairly young when their father passed away. And it was sad to hear, but what they said is it was really nice when they went to a bookcase. They picked up a book that their father would always read, John Maxwell. The father always talked about How to Win Friends and Influence People, John Maxwell, all of these books. And they picked up a book that their father used to read. And when they'd open it, they'd see all the notes that their father had written. And it made them feel like they still had a little part, that they could hear what their father was thinking. And for me, then it made me think that's what I want to be able to do. I want to be able to put down my thoughts onto the book. But it also did something else special. It allowed me to, and my business coach said to me, he said, don't just write in the book what's already written. Write what your thoughts are on what is written in the book. Write how you're going to implement what is written in the book for you, for your life. What do you think of it? Because if you just regurgitate what's there, what's the point? We can read lots of books and we can read lots of things, but if you don't act on it, it makes no difference. So he gave me one tip. He said, write into the books your thoughts. Then at the end of the book, read through it again, read through your thoughts and pick one thing. If you want to pick more, pick more, but pick one thing and make sure you apply one thing from every book you read. One thing. And he said, if you do that, that will change your life. And literally in that year, Mauricio really made a difference. So in that year, when I started reading lots, it took that year and the year after, then my son was born. I don't know if you know, my son was born and he was getting a bit older. And that's when I really started saying to my wife, saying, look, all these books we read, all these things we read, we really need to make it happen. And that's when we moved our business from having about £1,000 worth of volume coming through in the year to about 300,000 coming through in that year. So it made a huge difference reading, listening. That reading the books were general audios. Listening to their general books, listening to the audios, they were specific. They were from business owners that were developing this business. And that actually, for me, made a bigger difference. Because I don't know if anybody else has done something and they failed at it. And that's what we had. Me, myself, and my wife sometimes would go to see someone that we were thinking about working with them in the business, and they wouldn't even answer the door. We'd set up an appointment, but they weren't there. They'd forgotten. And we'd driven miles to go see them or something. We'd been working with someone. I remember showing a presentation to someone. They were really excited and keen to develop and join onto the team. And then I never heard from them ever again. And those things put you down. It makes you think, did I do something wrong? Was it me? What did I do? Then I look at my wife and she goes, yeah, well, maybe you didn't need to tell those jokes. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. Maybe you didn't need to do that. And I said, but what about you? You did this and you did this. And so then we're saying it to ourselves. But what we have to realize is business is not going to be for everybody. When we stopped worrying about the failures that we had and started building upon it. And for us, we had one of our business coaches, very strong speaker. And he said this thing is really important, that your successes are built upon a ladder of failures. Each failure that you have builds you up, takes you higher and closer to your next step of success. So your success is built upon a ladder of failures. And once you change the thought process of seeing a failure as a failure, and you see a failure as a stepping stone, then he said you accelerate yourself to success. And the crazy thing is, like Mauricio, every audio you listen to, or every book you read, you get what you need from it. I always feel you get what you need from it for that point in time. It's like you feel that audio was speaking to you, or that book was speaking to you in your life. And that's because we reflect on it ourselves. So it made the biggest difference to us. And my kids, they read now regularly. We have a massive library, and they have like a little book club, right? So they read and they earn. So they earn while they read, and they have to summarize it. And then we want them to apply stuff in their life. And I'd always wished that I'd have picked up that thought process earlier. And my parents had really always talked to me about education, because from where they came, they weren't given the chance to be able to do that. So they allowed us that platform to step up a little, and we're allowing our kids to step up a little bit. And education is totally the key. Yeah, it's a great question, Mauricio. It really changed our life. And so to answer it, I guess, very shortly, is about 100 to 150 audios and 15 to 20 books. But if you do more than that, that's brilliant.
That's fantastic. That's great, Mark, and I really love to hear it, because in a year, 15 books, what it does to your head, it's amazing. And 150 to 200 audios just absolutely blows your mind away. And one of the things that I teach is that do the simple things that you can personally control. I can control the fact that I can read. I can control the fact that I can listen to an audio. People's response to my proposal or whatever, that I cannot control, but I can control the amount of times that I do it. And it is awesome. Mark, you touched on a couple of things. Number one, it's that at the beginning, you had about 1,000 pounds worth of volume in your business, and then it changed to 300,000 pounds. Obviously, yeah, those are rough figures, but what did you guys do? Because yeah, it's great, you know, educate yourself, come to these sort of events, read books and everything. But I want to take you back to your beginnings, because I know it was your wife who initially saw the business opportunity, and then you know, you kind of got drawn into the business, and yes, you started educating yourself. But what did you guys actually do to go out and find your first customer, and maybe deal with rejection? Because you know, human beings, especially if we are not business owners and if we are not entrepreneurs, if we don't have that training, you know, nobody wants to deal with rejection. And maybe the fact, Mark, that you know, at one moment in time, perhaps you want to quit, and then you look around and say, you know, I don't need this business to survive. I'm a highly paid professional. I work in the city. I make good money. What am I doing, you know, building this business, which at the eyes of many people is a strange business, online business, maybe at the time, and everything that comes with it. But my question, my important question is, which steps did you guys actually do to you know, change your business into, yes, it's a good business, I want to develop, and the action that you guys put in, Mark?
Okay, yeah, good question. So let me answer it in a couple of ways. I guess, firstly, you were talking about one point where maybe I was thinking of quitting, or that this isn't worth it. So I'll cover that point first, and then talk about how, like, we went through the process of moving ourselves forward. So the point in time it came when we were thinking about quitting then was, and our business was kind of like going up and down. And I think the nature of business would always kind of do that. And for us, we had a challenge financially for us in our life, because we were overspending. It doesn't matter if you see, and it's interesting, my business coach said to me, he said, Mark, you have to be able to manage your money with whatever money you have. Financial sense does not grow when your wealth grows. If you make more money, it doesn't mean you all of a sudden become more financially wise. He said you have to become financially wise with whatever level you're at. So if you earn a certain income, you manage with that and then grow that income. So understand that. And at that point, we hadn't really learned those kind of aspects of it. And this was fairly early on, I would say, before we had any growth. And I'd spent lots of money on holidays here, there, and everywhere. And this was kind of, unfortunately, the way of the city. You earned a lot of money, but you spent big as well, because you knew you're going to make a lot of money. So we were in a challenge there. And then we bought another place. We bought another place, and things we thought were going okay. And then we went through a series of job losses or redundancies or change of job titles, and things were happening. I'd switched jobs, and all of a sudden our income from the city from about 150,000 dropped down to like 10,000, 20,000. And there were many factors that came into that. But that coincided with a very tough time in our life when we had a miscarriage. So we were trying for a baby and we had a miscarriage. And then at the same time, we were doing this business and we were seeing people and we were putting time into the business. We had people in our business not coming to the meetings. We had people in our business not coming, keeping to their appointments, trying to sell products to someone, and they weren't actually buying the products. And after we were getting a number of rejections. On top of everything that was there, I had like the money stress. I had the personal sacrifice stress of the baby. I had challenges. Me and Kieran were upset about different things. And then we had people not turn up. And I was thinking, I don't need this. Why do I need to do this? I've tried. I've spoken to 20, 30 people about products. It just didn't work. Why do I need to do that? And I remember speaking then, like being quite upset about it and speaking to my business coach. You know, I called him and Kieran said, let's just call them. Let's tell them how we're feeling about things. And we hadn't spoken to them for probably a couple of weeks. Let's tell them how we're speaking about things. And they were great. They just listened and they said, like, we know these challenges you're going through are really tough right now. He said, but see, challenges in life and challenges in business like this are like the seasons in life. You have the winter season, which is cold and harsh, and you all got to be wrapped up. And if you're outside, you're feeling the cold. And at the moment, you're outside and it's winter. He said, but whether you feel really cold or not, you know it's going to move into spring. It does. It just moves into spring. Spring occurs. Spring comes, and that's going to happen to you. Then it's going to come into summer. Then you're going to be back into winter. At some point, a little bit of winter will be there. Now, what happens is you get stronger. You'll be better in life. He said that right now you are going through a challenge, but the champions, the winners in life are not built on the top of the mountain tops. They're built in the valleys. When you have your challenges in life, that's when your real character comes out. He said, you do what you need to do. He said, thank you for sharing this with us, but let's just talk through and try to get to a solution. They helped us kind of sort out our money situation so that we were not overspending, so that we were in the right place, managed to secure that. And then he coached us on some things that we were doing wrong in our business, coached us on how we were able to present, to talk to people and have more patience, told us to read more books, actually, told us to listen to more audios, told us to go to more associations and connect there. And that really, really made a big difference to us. So I think everybody's going to have their time in their life when they go through a big challenge. And for that, for me and Kieran, thankfully, we were still quite strong together. You know, we didn't really argue with each other, but there was a lot of stress there at one point. But that we managed to get past that. And I think, Maurizio, if I'm going to say it like in a short way, the biggest thing, the biggest factor for us to get through that, from when we thought we wanted to quit because it was not worth it, was that we spoke to our upline. That thing was the thing. We knew that they were always there for us. We had a hand up to our upline, and then we were thinking about our business. For that point, if anybody goes through stress, if anybody goes through challenging times, you've got to know there's always someone there for you, always someone there to support you. And that's really, really important. In this business, better than any other business, I think, in the whole world, you always have someone to support you. So when we, put ourselves back together and we were in a stronger place and we were kind of happier, more solid with things, the way that we duplicated and replicated our business, now we were not able to, so that £1,000 worth of sales was coming from about 2 or 3 people in the team. That was it, us included. So it wasn't a massive team. There were a bunch of people registered, but not many people were doing anything. And there was 2 or 3 of us that were actually selling stuff. And I was selling stuff mainly that were to like my sister and to my aunt. There weren't too many genuine real customers because I didn't have the confidence at that point. I still started to do stuff. So what we did is we got, like, at one point, I remember we sat down with our business coach and we said, look, we really need to make a change here. So what he did is he did some more seminars with our team and went through the basics from like A to Z, from the start to finish. So like, let's go through these different things that you've got. He said, record some of your meetings, like audio record them so you can listen back to them. And so we changed our skill set by really studying what we were doing. And he said, but here's the important thing. If you just do 2 meetings or 5 meetings, you don't have enough to study from. So he said, you have to do enough meetings. You have to get a really good work ethic. No matter what you think, success comes from a really strong work ethic. You have to go and show the presentation. Show the presentation to people. If that's to develop a network person or develop a customer, you're showing the presentation to people. So every single day, try to show the business opportunity or product to a customer on a daily basis. And he said, then if you are at where you are right now, let's say you were at day 1, although we were not really at day 1, we kind of like felt like we were restarting. Let's say you were at day 1. At day 100, would you be better or would you be worse at what you're doing? He said, I'd be better. I'd be better then than I would be now. And he said, yeah, absolutely. But you have to do the first 99. You have to get through those first 99 to get to the 100th one. And how long you take to get to it is up to you. But he said, my suggestion is to do it in 99 days, to get through 1 a day, to have that. You do 1, reflect. And then after that, we upped our work ethic. So we started doing that, which we started trying to work on rewriting our list of people that we knew, trying to think how we could connect to new people and meeting people. And every day when I was going out and meeting someone, he said, sometimes you don't believe enough in yourself, but do you believe in me? Do you believe in so-and-so? So I tried to create a persona in my mind. I would think, what would my upline do? What would, and there was a very enigmatic speaker that I used to see on stage, Charlie Durso, and he had like such a big life. He was very larger than life. When he walked into a room, he'd be a very positive, strong personality. And so I think, how would he walk into the room? How would he speak to this person? And I was thinking about my upline. What would my upline think if this person said that? So I started trying to emulate what I saw my business coaches do. And that was really making a difference. Kieran was phenomenal in that every day, she started speaking to people about products or business. Mostly, she was doing a lot of retailing and products. She was working with a lot with the ladies in the team to get them to be confident enough to talk to people about stuff. I had like a chicken list really as well. I don't know if you guys know what a chicken list is, but I had a big chicken list, a massive one. The chicken list is this. And I want you all to think about this. You know, if you're in the business or not, whether you start any business, you'll have a list of people that you know. And I had a massive list of people I knew, but there was a ton of those people that I was too scared to speak to because I thought I had to be a success before I spoke to them. And that's true. You do have to be a success before you speak to them. You have to be a success in here and in here. And I didn't realize that. You don't have to develop big business success because your business coaches develop it. Your business coaches have got that success. So you have to leverage the success. So my business coach said, you can't speak to people just about you. You've got to speak to them about the opportunity. The opportunity is a great opportunity. So you're not just selling a product to someone. If someone is going to be part of the business, then you got like, for example, the energy drink. There's an energy drink there. It's not just an energy drink. It's an opportunity in a can. That's what you're offering them. Yes, they could go drink something else. Yes, they could use other toothpaste and stuff like that. But have they ever had a business opportunity that gives them freedom from Colgate? I don't think that comes with Colgate, right? You buy that from Tesco, it does not give you freedom. It gives you teeth sometimes, right? But with this, what you get is you get an opportunity. So you have to understand that stuff. So I started really educating myself on those things, Maurizio. So started upping our work ethic. That was the number one key thing. And started reading, listening, and reading, listening, and believing much more of what they said. So I was speaking those things on a daily basis. We had to kind of speak about it, and we still do. Like, if anybody finds it difficult, anybody have like heard of the power of spoken word, like speaking what you want. If you want to achieve something, you start speaking it first, right? So if you think of a 100-meter runner, and the 100-meter runner is at the start of the race, and he's looking forward to the end, he doesn't stand on the line thinking, I'm so terrible, I'm going to lose this race, I'm going to trip over and fall. You know, like, he can't do that, can he? You see them, and they're like, they're looking really focused. If you remember Muhammad Ali was always, when he jumped into the ring, Muhammad Ali would always be saying, I'm going to knock him down. I'm going to knock him down in the third. I'm going to take him out. I'm faster than this. I'm so fast. When I hit the light switch, then I'm in bed before the lights go out. Muhammad Ali spoke with power. He spoke with belief and confidence. And I started trying to believe in the things I said, trying to believe in that confidence. But I didn't always remember to do it. I don't know if you guys are the same as me, but I didn't remember always to do it. Like, discipline was not the greatest. So I did something, and Richard, I hope you're okay with me sharing this to everybody. I did something to help myself speak the goals I wanted every single day, to help remind me, okay? What's the number one thing that people do every day? Number one thing, they never go without this. They look at themselves in the mirror. Everybody does. Everybody will look at themselves once in the mirror. Every day, you will look yourself once. So in our bathroom mirror, I wrote up on the bathroom mirror with a marker the things that I wanted to speak that day. As I was brushing my teeth, I started speaking it, thinking it as I was brushing my teeth, because I spent my time. And by the time I finished speaking it and saying it, that was time for me to finish brushing my teeth. And when I put it down, I said it again and I felt good about it. Does that make sense? Yeah. We have to develop things to help us to remember to do these things. So that really helped actually. My business coach said, you have to believe, you have to increase your work ethic, and you read and listen, all of that stuff to help you believe more in what you do. You increase your work ethic and believe more in what you do. And then what was really important as we started doing that, we're working in teams, then we were trying to, those first two, increasing their work ethic and believing what we do, was kind of like working on ourselves, Maurizio. It's like working on making us better business owners, okay? So he said that you've got to be really happy with who you are and what you're doing. And then he said, like a photocopier, if you put something in a photocopier, if the original copy is not good, what are the copies going to be like? If the original that you get photocopy is blurry, what are the copies coming out of the photocopy going to be like? They're going to be blurry. He said, so you're creating a good copy of yourself. Now, how can you create that copy into other people? He said, you can't think about your goals when you are trying to achieve success. You have to help them. So once we kind of got to a stage, Richard, of like really understanding that we felt happy with who we were and what we were doing, we started working really, really hard on it. We were doing meetings all over the place for whoever in the team. Then we started opening our diary and calendar for other people to say that wherever you need it, we'll help and support. Wherever you need to drive to, we'll help and support. We'll take that to you. We'll help you doing this. But I feel as well, in that first year, we still didn't do it in the best way, Maurizio, if I'm going to be real honest, because we worked really hard and we worked a lot for other people. It was only the second year we did it a lot better, because in that first year, we did it kind of like from pure hustle, heart and hustle, they said, heart and hustle. What we didn't do was we didn't develop enough leadership in the team because everybody depended upon us. So it was really still very much like an S quadrant business. It was very much just, if we fell away, the whole team would fall apart. We didn't want that. So that was the last key, that when we worked really hard and we were building our own confidence in our own belief, that the last thing there was to help build leadership in others. So a really important thing my business coach said to me, he said, Mark, never do for someone else something they can do for themselves. If you do that, you take away their chance to be a leader. Now, how do you do that is not easy, because I did that bit wrong as well. How you do it is you do it in little bits, and that you give them small bits to train on, and you give them support and stuff. But that really made a big difference to us, actually. Yeah, sorry, buddy, go on.
No. Just that I would stay here, talking 2-3 hours of the whole day with you. And
okay, sorry. Yeah, I don't know how much time I got. How much time do I have? That's it. Time over.
We only had less than 10 minutes, and I do have a surprise for the end of the meeting. I just have a couple of important questions that I want to cover with you. And
yes.
I know that in your team, you have very different profiles and very different people from different nationalities and places around the world. However, I know, and I want you to tell us, some of the people and the different profiles, because I know this CEOs from businesses, I know this business owners, highly paid professionals, and I just want you to tell us, some of the profiles and some of the people who are in your business, and what do you think attracted this high hitters over to the business?
Okay, that's a good question. So a couple of people we got, I'm looking up that way because I've got my business chart all written out there. So basically, and this for you guys, if you're getting started or whatever, in your business, in your place, your house, have one place where you got your Zoom set up. Have it set up there and you can go somewhere else. And we basically got our dreams there, always, so we can see it in front of us, our organization chart there, because nobody comes in our house now, so we can have it right here. Have all our organization chart there in our different countries and stuff. So if I talk about just this country for now, so we have like we have a senior telecoms engineer. We have some students. We've got a bunch of students in the business. Students from different types of universities. We've got a gas engineer, someone who project manages, senior project manager and gas engineer. She was like She graduated top of her class in university. So not just she went to a good university, she got, not just she got first, she was the #1 in the class in the whole university for that. So very, very intelligent person. But she's managed, she's in a high position managing in gas. We got a number of people that are project managers, number of people that are HR designers, medical professionals. We've got a couple of doctors. We've got some high-powered accountants. Now, and then we've got a bunch of people that are, we've got a bunch of people just coming in now that have just graduated. So lawyers and kind of like media people. But I tell you what's really important, Richard, out of everybody there, one big thing that they all have, because they have these things that are different. One big thing they all have is that they really wanted to do something different. They were not happy with just their job. All these people were not happy with just their job. But I tell you, the difficult thing is, Mauricio, if you speak to 10 accountants, 20 accountants, you might get 1 or 2, because they have this, they do have, a lot of them have a big chip on their shoulder. I had a big chip on my shoulder, my finance job. They have a big chip on their shoulder. You'll find a few that are humble. But the 1 or 2 that are joined is because they wanted something else. So the one accountant I'll tell you about, she's already a millionaire already. So she's already a millionaire already from what she does in her job and everything. She already has success there. But what she wants is she's never had the same recognition that she would get here. What she's seen from this business, she's seen recognition. She's seen people coming together in unity. She's never seen that in her workplace. In her workplace, she's always seen people trying to do one over on each other, to try to backstab each other. So she really respected this environment. She wanted to develop success here in an asset that she can give to her children. For the other people that are here, they were all very, very friendly people. So they all wanted to do something. They're very friendly. What attracted them was actually just the opportunity and the passion that the person spoke with. The person has to speak with passion. Nobody follows someone that doesn't believe what they're talking about. But really importantly, it's very easy to get a student into the business, maybe. To have someone join the team as a student, because they've not had that experience, so they haven't got their ego in some ways, and they're very kind of easy to work with, but they don't have the disposable income, and they may not be as heavy hitter as some of the bigger people who've got bigger jobs. But I'll tell you, even just recently, someone in the team who's gone like 18% and got a huge work ethic, and he's a student. He started off as a student, a first-year student. So one of the things I think that people should do is not look at the fact that someone's got a big job, not look at the fact that someone's got a small job. Look at the person inside. What do they want to do? Because it actually didn't matter. Some of the people that do tremendously well have not got big jobs. Some of the people that have done really well are people with big jobs. But their overriding factor more so is, did they attend the meetings? Were they accountable for their word? Did they really show that they wanted to do this? Were they humble enough to educate themselves? And were they able to actually put in that work ethic? So it's like we don't stick on the fact that they got a big job. But you know, when you have someone that's got a great big job, we don't know what their expenses are, Maurizio. Sometimes they've got great jobs, but they've got bad expenses. They've never had mentorship. They've never had someone really wanting to help them. So I think that's what they appealed to them. That's what appealed to me. Really, it did. It really appealed to me that I had someone to support me and a team to support me and a really positive environment. It really made a difference. So I would tell everybody here, if you see someone that's got a big job, that means nothing. Don't worry about it. You just speak to them with the same passion that you speak with anybody. If they are the right person, then they will connect to your business. I think I've heard Paul say this before. You cannot show the wrong plan to the right person. If they are the right person for your business team, it doesn't matter what you say, they will connect to you because they're looking for something. If they are looking for opportunity, they're looking and they will be interested. But then you just have to have patience. Maurizio, I think that's a big thing, to have patience with them. Because sometimes these guys that have had a job for a little while, they're very cautious. So they may want lots of different information. It may take a while for them to come inside the business. but once they do, they'll be good and they'll be secure. I
That's
hope
great.
that's okay. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, fantastic, Mark. And just the last question, and just before I get to the last question, just a reminder: I have a surprise for you at the end of the meeting, and it's actually a surprise for next week. And
Okay.
Mark, you talked about the law of averages, and
Yeah.
talking to enough people, finding those who are looking for something, regardless of their job or circumstances and everything. And to wrap up, Mark, share your vision with us. Why do you actually build this business? Yes, obviously there's a lot of money in the business, and as business owners and entrepreneurs, we want to make lots of money. However, how good it is to be able to make money from being good at helping people. And if you help a lot of people live better lives, which is one of the principles for you and your wife, how great it is that you make loads of money. But what's your vision, and what keeps you motivated, and what keeps you actually doing this with so much passion and investing your talent, your time, your family time interest? Just talk to us quickly about that.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I would love to talk about that, and I'll only spend the next hour on this. Okay, so the vision really is. See, I tell you what I see when I look at this country, and maybe even Europe, because now with Zoom, I'm sure you've seen this as well. Actually, countries, it doesn't matter which country you're from. We've probably got lots of people from different countries here today. What I see when I look around the UK and I see the business, I think that we just haven't even started. We haven't even, what they say, scratched the scratch of the surface. There's such a huge market for people. Over this last year, I think people have really understood that they need something of their own. They need more independence. They can't just rely on a job, because you don't know what's going to happen. And it upsets me when I talk to someone and they don't understand this business. Have you ever come across people that really don't understand it? They just don't understand how good this is. And this is our vision for this business, because our business coach said, as Mauricio said, your success in life is not measured by the number of pounds, the wealth in your bank account, but by the number of people who are better off because you've lived. A person is successful when they're in pursuit of a worthwhile goal. That's when they're happy, when they've got life in them. You are living when you're in pursuit of a worthwhile goal. And unfortunately, I believe a lot of people go to school and they've got dreams of things they want to do. They go to work and they still got dreams. And then 5 years, maybe 10 years, those dreams are crushed and those dreams are gone. You look into the eyes of people and they don't have that life in them. And that's a sad thing. So what we would love to be able to do, if we could develop this thing and really go out and speak to people, like myself and my wife, I know Mauricio, a lot of the other leaders here have had a phenomenal life because of this business. It's really changed our lives in so many ways. I cannot even begin to say how much of a difference it's made to our lives. It's affected everything of us, given us so many amazing experiences. I remember going to France, speaking in France, Amway France, picked up by a beautiful limo, going over there, staying in a beautiful place, speaking on stage, being translated to 4 different languages. For me, for what? Because what I did in the business, I'm already getting paid for that, and they did this. So many amazing experiences. When we went across to that beach, do you guys remember in Costa Navarino when they closed off the beach, the whole beach? And it just, I remember walking up to the ice cream place and saying, how much is it? He said, it's free. So what do you mean it's free? He said, it's free. I said, I can take this one free. He goes, you can take as many as you want. I was carrying 5, 6 ice creams back because I thought he might take them off me. But he was crazy the whole night. Just, it was an unbelievable experience. Sat and talked with my friends. How many people hire out a whole cruise liner? A whole cruise liner for you and your friends that achieve success. There's so many more things to come, but people in this country, people across Europe, they just don't understand it. This is the most misunderstood business in the world. So our vision is really to create a community of people that really want to do something. The people that lost hope but want to have hope back. The people that have got hope in their hearts, the dream to want to do something, a community of people across this country, across the world, that want to do something more for themselves and help other people. If we do that with enough people, the next time you say to someone about Amway, they're not going to look at you with disgust. They're not going to look with you, oh, I know that thing. They're going to say, oh, wow, I know that thing. These guys are amazing. That's our vision, that we got to keep doing this because it is a wonderful, beautiful business. And if the good people build it in the right way, it can have such a lasting impact on the world. And I remember, I'm going to close it kind of like with this one thing. See, when we grow up, we get lots of prejudice and we get lots of different things happening. And I remember my son speaking, and he used to get on really well with the son of someone in our team. And that person kind of quit. She stopped doing it. She found it tough. But really, she just didn't do enough presentations. She stopped believing in herself. And I remember my son saying, oh, we haven't seen so-and-so for a while. And I said, yeah, I know. I said, they're going through changes and, they're finding it a bit tough. And he said, So he was about about 8 at the time, 7 or 8 at the time. And he said, Daddy, so did they stop coming to the meeting because they found it too tough? I said, yeah, they did. And I said, but that's okay. Some people have experiences. He said, Daddy, can you take me round to their house? I said, okay, why? He said, I want to go talk to their dad, to talk to the boy and tell him to tell his mum that it doesn't matter if you find things tough, because everything in life is tough. You got to keep on trying. Keep on trying. He said, because if we don't have enough money, you can just go diamond and you'll get lots of money. And then you get free trips. He said, can I go and tell her that? Because I think she needs to hear it from me. And that really touched my heart, because he just like an 8-year-old understands this, that you can just do this by going helping people. If you don't have the money, create the opportunity, create this and keep going. Don't stop. You've got to keep on doing this. If you don't feel like you're getting enough, if you don't feel like you've got the success you want to, speak to your upline, look at what you've got, up your work ethic. If you're showing 5 presentations a week, show 10. If you're showing 10, show 20. Improve your skill and up your work ethic. Improve your skill and up your work ethic, and you will get to where you need to get to. The vision of this business for me, myself, and I'm sure all of you, is to keep building it until everybody knows how great this is.
That's absolutely fantastic, Mark. I'm just absolutely speechless. And on behalf of everyone here in this room, on behalf of all of Amway UK and all the people who decided to join in today, a wholehearted thank you. Mark, you just closed it up beautifully. You can never speak so loud that your actions will not even speak louder. The story that you tell from your son, it is fantastic, and how wonderful it is to live a life with a purpose, a life where every single day you challenge yourself to become an even better version of yourself, a business where you're actually pushing yourself, below limits, because that's what this business is. There's actually no limit to how much you can do, how better you can become. And the beautiful thing is that everything is in your control.
Yeah.
Many people can come up with excuses on how it's difficult. Of course, it's difficult. Nothing in life that's actually worth it will be easy, and nobody will ever do something for you that's you're not willing to do yourself. I'm extremely proud and happy to have the opportunity to call you and your wife our dearest friends. And I just want to close up saying that I love you and that I wish you guys all the success in the world. Thank you very, very much for being passionate leaders, for being an example to ourselves and to hundreds and thousands of people out there. And talking about passion, next Saturday we have a very, very powerful, passionate lady in our Saturday mega training. We have this young lady, Abigail Suaro, who is, she used to be a healthcare professional. However, she wanted to help more people, and that she's got a massive course, massive knowledge, massive success to share with you. This is going to be an open event where obviously we want you guys to come. Obviously, we want you guys to invite your team passionately, where we want you guys asking questions to successful people who are actually making things happen not only in the UK, but worldwide. We have huge admiration for this lady, and she's going to be adding massive value for you guys. So let's make it happen. We can also invite more people to join us, customers, prospects, because that's what it is, spreading out the word, spreading out the love. So we love you, Mark. We love you guys. Thank you very much for being such a fantastic crowd. Thank you very much for those encouraging and empowering words. And have a safe and a productive weekend, guys. Thank you very much, Mark and Kieran. We love you, love you, love you loads. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you very much.